My sole and exclusive mission is to go to work for our country, to go to work for you. It's time to deliver a victory for the American people. We don't win anymore, but we are going to start winning again.
Prevailed. It'll go away at some point, it'll go away. Many of these people aren't very sick, but they still go down as a case. We were able to cut it off, stop it, just like this. And it is dying out. The numbers are starting to get very good. And now it's time to open up, get back to work. The coronavirus, that's going to sort of just disappear, I hope. We show cases, 99% of which are totally harmless. We're not closing, we'll never close. We want to stay open, and we will stay open. We're not closing. We have to get our schools open and stop this political nonsense. You're losing a lot of lives by keeping things closed.
I've been waiting the whole time, man.
Hopefully George is looking down right now and saying, there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody. This is a great day for everybody. This is a great, great day.
Hi. Hello. It's me. So, to summarize how 2020 has been going, the words that come to mind would be shit show, fuckery, and bullshit. 2020 has easily been the most stressful year of my entire existence on this earth. But with that being said, it's made me have a lot of awakenings, self-realizations, and worldly realizations about the United States that I otherwise would not have had. I think growing up, it's really easy, especially being a white male, it's really easy growing up turning a blind eye. And especially, I'm 21, so I'm not trying to justify turning a blind eye, but girl, at 1 through 19 or 1 through 17, I have to cut myself some fucking slack. Yes, turning a blind eye is terrible, but at those ages, it's just easy to accidentally do that, is what I'm saying, because you're so caught up in your little teenage life, doing high school, doing your hobbies, doing middle school, getting bullied, going through being gay, whatever you're going through, There's a lot to be distracted by. But at this point, 2020 has really thrown everything in our faces, pulled the rug out from under us. And if you're not having the realizations that most of the United States should be having, such as the systematic injustices against people of color, our innocent, beautiful people being shot and killed and choked to death on the streets of the United States. The United States is literally a shade of crimson red, because it's fucking doused in the blood of its people. And I know that sounds super radical, and I did come up with that before this video. But it's the fucking truth. It sounds super grim, and it's super dark, but the United States is super fucking dark. And when you have lived your entire life turning a blind eye, and not having to be a victim of these injustices, it's so easy not to see them. But now we can't help but see them, no matter whether you just get by off of not being political or turning your blind eye or just by the privileges of being white, at this point, you cannot fucking ignore it or you're an ignorant person. The options are to see what's going on, to realize it, to metabolize it, and figure out what you can do to contribute to save the United States, or you can be ignorant and go down with it burning, in my opinion. I would rather see ignorant people, period. Can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. The United States is just such a shit show. With that being said, the year 2020 has brought so many like self-realizations. I've realized how much of a terrible person I still am. I went back and I like looked at my old YouTube videos, and it's so funny. Like, I was still just so blind to who I was. But I mean, you're always going to be blind to who you are. Life is a journey. It's not point A to point B. It's not like, you know, a beeline to your goals. It's a complete journey, ups and downs, realizing you're completely fucking wrong and stupid, which, and I'm not saying that I was stupid. I just thought I had, I don't know, experienced enough self-reflection that I thought I knew what I was talking about. That wasn't the case. Like, it's hard to admit, but there's so many, like even within myself, I have mentally racist tendencies in my mind. And like admitting that is a scary thing, I'm sure. And like admitting that on a camera is a scary thing, I'm sure, to a lot of people. But to me it's not, because it just is what it is, you know? Like, my life, like, when you live in a white suburban community, there's certain stereotypes that are pushed into your mind and that are continuously perpetuated throughout the years of your mind forming itself and your cognitive abilities becoming developed, that racism is like interwoven within our minds, especially when you are in a majority white area. But with that being said, it's more, to me, it's more about the choice of like whether you're willing to realize that and work on yourself to force positive change within like, your cognitive patterns, or choosing to be ignorant and saying, no, I don't think that way. No. I'm not racist. I'm not racist. I'm not racist. For example, mine, again, I was not raised in a racist household, so like I consider, like, I used to work at like a luxury store, and when I worked at this luxury store, we had a lot of Indian customers come in, and every single time an Indian customer would come in, like, I would immediately have the idea that they were just, their accent meant that they weren't on an IQ level that was compatible with mine. And what I mean by that is that they're English, they're broken English, like I would judge them for it. I didn't actively think, oh my god, they're stupid, but I would judge them. Like, I would have this, god, like, that, which is terrible. Like, that's what my brain was doing, and that's not correct. Because the reality of the fucking situation is they speak 2 languages or more, I'm not even sure. And they're doing a phenomenal job at, you know, communicating with me in English. We had a lot of customers that were like from overseas, and it's weird that like with Asian customers, I would have no problem like with them having broken English. I'd be like, oh my god, like they're just so cute and blah blah blah. But with Indian customers, it would be the opposite. And like looking back on it now, my brain does not think like that at all, because I realized that about myself, and I was disgusted with myself. Especially being someone that prides myself on being culturally aware and traveling around the world, having respect for everyone. The fact that my mind was subconsciously thinking in that way, again, I wasn't actively belittling these people, but it was subconscious brain frequencies that would just be occurring in my head to push negative thoughts and to give them the fuel they need to be thought. The reality of the situation is, like, especially being in the United States, people are from all over the world. there's no reason to think less than of someone because their English may not be top notch. The matter of the fact is, they're trying super hard and they have a skill, 2 languages, that I don't fucking have. I speak 1 language. I've been trying to learn a 2nd language for a long time now, still trying. I'm the stupid one. And that's what people need to realize. Like, they need to realize that while we like to think we know ourselves, we don't. I used to tell people, I'm not racist, not a racist household, not this, not that, which is true. I'm not a racist person. But that doesn't mean that your brain can't have these racist tendencies wired inside of it. And I think, from what I gather, not everyone, but a lot of people are kind of having realizations. Like, I started having these realizations before, like, 2020 hit, because I realized it was a problem, like, at 19 and 20. It's when I started, like, realizing, like, why are you thinking like this? But even 2020 just really flipped me inside out. Like, I'm telling you, that shit has me going through it like no other. And I'm happy that it does, because I think if I live through 2020, I will come out an extremely better person than I am currently, or was, or will be in the next few months. Like, I think that if I survive, this should be for the better, even though it's terrible. Another perspective of mine that has changed is my idea of, like, or my perception of protests. Whenever I would see protests that would get, like, super violent, I would think, like, oh my god, like, what are they doing? And, like, when I say that, I'm referring to, like, burning buildings down, throwing bricks in cars, ruining police cars, you know, violently acting out against the police force. Back in, like, 2014, I did not really get it, because I was still turning a blind eye. I didn't really get the desperation, not the desperation, but the passionate pleading that is involved with these protests. But now, with 2020, when it's all just, like, dumped out in front of you, because, like, with Trump being so visibly fucking stupid, it's quite easy to see these horrific injustices that are being inflicted upon people of color, and specifically black individuals. And so when it's thrown in your face, how can you ignore it? And through that, it really allowed me to practice my empathy and improve it and fine-tune it and do my research to where I fully grasp how important these protests are and the passion and the devotion that it takes to perform these tasks. Yes, I do think there are some individuals that would love to just go out and, like, loot and things like that, but that's not the mass majority, so I don't even consider that. And that's the way I think that other people should think. I don't think looting should be even a topic in the news, but that's not going to exist. You know, that's not our reality. I think the topic should be the focus of the fucking protest. Who gives a fuck if a Target got burnt to the fucking ground? It's called insurance, baby. It's corporate America. They're gonna be okay. I promise you. The people that aren't okay are the people that are dying on the streets of the United States. All of these realizations have been extremely exhausting and extremely trying, and extremely debilitating, honestly, to metabolize all of it and to just get it into your system and being able to grasp it and to understand it. It's exhausting, it's stressful, especially being someone that is like a diagnosed depressed person with anxiety. But again, I don't care. People tell me to ignore it. People tell me, oh my god, you can't expose yourself to all this negative energy. You can't look at the news every day. You have to just block it out. You'll be okay. I understand that. I understand blocking this shit out would help me and would make me feel better. But at the end of the day, this is the world that I'm fucking living in, and I'd rather see what is going on. I'd rather be painfully aware of what is happening, because at the end of the day, I'm not having to live it. You know, I'm not out there being targeted by police. I'm not being brutalized. I'm staying inside my house, I'm quarantining. If COVID wasn't a thing, I would be protesting, but I'm not. So what I can do is be verbally communicate via social media all the information that I can grasp, my political opinions, sharing links, donating, X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, the last thing I'm going to do is turn a blind eye any longer, because I have for so long, even if it stresses me the fuck out. So it really irritates me, or it doesn't irritate me, because I'm not gonna push my opinions on other people at this point. But it makes me disappointed. I have 2 friends at this point. It makes me disappointed when they say things like that to me. And when I know that they are turning a blind eye actively, because it betters them. And I get it to an extent, not watching videos of people getting maimed and beaten. But I feel like it's my civic duty to force myself to watch it. Aside from political and social realizations, 2020 has definitely brought me individual realizations about myself. I'm currently in therapy, which I think is the best decision that I've ever made, one of the best decisions that I've ever made, because I've wanted to be in therapy for a really long time. I've thought about it for so long, but I just don't think I was ever in the place to maybe admit it to myself fully, or to fully commit to it. And I kind of had the idea that it might be a little bit harder getting into therapy than I realized, but it actually wasn't. It was a very, honestly, I thought it was going to be so hard to find a therapist within my medical coverage and someone that would match my wavelength, because I'm pretty fucking crazy. And I found someone, I'm not gonna give her name, but she's an amazing therapist. I saw one people and I called a second person, but the first person I saw, I met her during COVID and she wasn't wearing a mask. Her office was literally smaller than a 10 by 10 room. And she was like, I'm so sorry, I forgot my mask. Can we still continue? And I was wearing a mask, of course, but I was just sure. I didn't get sick, luckily, from this woman, but the chances of me getting sick from her were very high, because we were in a literal closet. So at first I still kind of liked her, and I was like, oh, I kind of liked her vibe. But then my mom was just really heated about the mask thing, and then it made me kind of realize, yeah, it is a very big issue that she wasn't wearing a mask as a medical professional. So at that point, I crossed her off the list, and then I found someone else, and she's doing only webcam therapy, which I wasn't sure about at first, but then I realized it's still amazing because she's amazing. And because she's so amazing, the questions she asks just really invokes thoughts within myself. She's not really therapizing me. And I realized that about the first woman. She was literally a textbook therapist, you would see in a movie. Her voice was bumped up 20 octaves. And she was like, oh my god, so how does that make you feel? Literally Michael Jackson. And so after that, I realized, wow, I'm so happy I didn't go to that woman, because all she would have done is just done textbook therapy stuff, and I don't think that works for me. I don't think that will work for me. This woman that I'm going to really just asks inquisitive questions, and I know she's more liberal, because she knows who RuPaul is. And she straight up told me, she's like, I'm totally okay that you're gay. And I was just great. And I just really liked her. She was older, which is what I wanted, because you'll just have more wisdom if you are older, or so I hope, but she does. But it's definitely helped me. Therapy is the best thing that I've ever done, and I think it's really helpful for 2020 specifically. Being able to talk to her just once a week and have someone that only wants to hear about you, and you don't have to feel selfish about it. Whenever I have conversations over the phone, I make sure I force myself to look and see how many eyes I use in text, talking about me as a subject with my friends, to make sure it's a balanced conversation and asking about them too. But with a therapist, that's not even something you need to think about, because they just want to hear about you. That's the thing. And also it's great because with therapy, therapists, I feel there's specific types of people that really enjoy being therapists. They enjoy having those cognitive abilities and having that high IQ and that specific training, and they love utilizing it. So they're proud to just do what they do and let you talk. So it's been like so helpful, and not to feel remorseful about talking about myself and like my feelings has been an experience that I've never gotten to like have before. Like I'm a very selfish person, but being able to talk about just wanting to constructively talk about it's just fucking amazing. I couldn't recommend therapy more. Like, I feel like every single person should try therapy at least once in their life. And if you don't like the therapist, then to not discredit therapy, to discredit that therapist, but to still pursue therapy until, let me rephrase it. I think everyone should try to find at least once in their life a therapist they like and try it for like a month. So once you find a therapist you think you connect with, to try it for a month, and if you don't like it, bam, throw it away. But obviously not everyone has like health insurance and all that jazz. So 2020 definitely pushed me to get therapy, because I was having so many mental fucking breakdowns. And when I say mental breakdowns, I don't mean like tearing my hair out. Well, I've never torn my hair out, but I've like bawled my eyes out, heart palpitations, hyperventilating, breathing exercises, meditation, like literally just going through it, trying to like recalibrate my body because it's going insane. And I think the stress is like, it's apparent on the outside of my body as well as it is on the inside. Like as stressed out as I feel on the inside, it definitely reflects on the outside. And I think that's something, the biggest realization that I've gotten out of 2020 is that even though the shit is fucked, it's so important that I realized how badly I was impacting my health with my anxiety and like being depressed. Like my heart has been going through it for so many years, and I've just kind of like ignored it because I was scared. I've known that I've needed to go to a cardiologist, but I haven't done it. My appointment is for this week. But I was just always too afraid, and because I was afraid that they were going to tell me I need like heart surgery or something like that, and I am still afraid of that, but I rather figure it out and kind of like talk to a specialist about like what I've been going through to understand if I need to be as worried as I am. Because like when you feel your heart being stressed out and you have anxiety, it kind of just creates this like ongoing cycle, because your heart's stressed out, then your brain's stressed out because your heart is stressed out, and you start thinking like, fuck, am I gonna have a heart attack? Am I gonna have a stroke? Am I gonna have an aneurysm? Am I gonna have a seizure? Because my heart is stressed out due to me being stressed out. And then because you're stressed out, your heart doesn't stop being stressed out, because your stress directly affects your cardiovascular system. And whether we like to realize that or not, it's the truth. And I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack by the age of 40, and that's fucking terrifying. But with that being said, I am hopeful that I'll be able to implement the changes necessary to like help my heart out and maybe catch it before this little guy just kicks the bucket. But I have felt like, to elaborate, like I have heart palpitations, and I think that it's due to my like chronic stress that I've just had for so many years. And it's like at first, like it was just kind of like my heart felt like it was fluttering sometimes, like just palpitating, like it was just quite almost innocent feeling. Almost like at first I thought it was a burp. Like when I first started having them, I think it was like it was when I first started dating my now ex. And I moved out, and I really started experiencing like the just fluttering feeling. It's the only way I can describe it. And then it started like, I guess the more stress I just piled on myself and like carried that baggage with me throughout the years, like my heart just felt kind of like this, like it just felt like it's stressed, like it's constrained. And then I started having like piercing pains, like kind of like almost like a needle is being like, almost like when you get your ear pierced, like quickly like pulled through your heart. And I have like pains up through here and in my back. And then now I have like body aches everywhere, and my shoulders are always tense, and I don't sit up straight, and I sleep all day till like 3 and 4 p.m. Sometimes I wake up at like 1 and 12 if I'm lucky. And I stay up all night, and I can't sleep, and it's all just become too much. So 2020 has really pushed me over the limit and made me realize, okay, bitch, like figure it out. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, because like it's awesome. All of this is, I guess, is just so exhausting. Like I've been so lazy for so many years. If like circumstances aren't perfect in my life, like if what I want to do isn't like perfectly set up, perfectly done, perfectly perfect, then I don't want to do it. And that can be from like fun things. Excuse me. Ugh, I burped. That can be doing from like fun things, having friends, doing just like chores, whatever it is. Like if I'm not gonna do it perfect, then I'm just like too exhausted by the idea of it and I just don't do it. So 2020 is fucked, for sure. But I guess it's just all how you process it, and even though it may be terrible for you, it's terrible for me, but my terrible is not nearly as terrible as it could be. So we all, I'm sure, have some things that we can focus on that help us get through it and realize how privileged we are to have like a roof over our heads, a computer to look at, a phone to play with. We have those things, some people don't. If you're watching this, you probably are at like a level, you have a level of privilege. I don't want to offend people. Actually, I don't care. You have a level of privilege just by being able to like work with your YouTube and your computers and all that stuff. I sound like an 80-year-old saying like your YouTube, but it's true. So I think that by like focusing like the things that we have and trying to appreciate them more, it like lowers your stress, because so many people are having their eyeballs shot out of them because they're so passionate about like the injustices they have to deal with every single day, and like the trials and tribulations of their life, that they have to go put themselves in the streets to protest, to fight for their rights, and they get their little eyeballs shot out, and like people are losing their jobs and families are having their kids kill themselves, and it's a lot. 2020 is unimaginably awful, truly, but it's all how you process it. So I hope that you take this with a grain of salt, but perhaps in some way it can help you digest the fuckery of 2020. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to start making videos just because I don't talk to anyone anymore. I'm in quarantine, I do not go out. That's not gonna be a thing. I'm not gonna get the fucking coronavirus, knock on wood. But with that being said, being socially isolated is fucking terrible. I'm down to like 2 friends, and I'm kind of like irritated with my friends that I do have just because they aren't being socially responsible. So I don't want to talk to them just because I'm afraid I'm going to say something like, oh my god, you dumb cunt, like wear a mask. And for the most part, my friends are wearing masks, but sometimes they're just not making good decisions. And they aren't, so I don't really want to talk to them. So I think that like making these videos will give me something to look forward to. I'll be able to, change my clothes. That sounds disgusting, but it's true. I'll be able to make myself look a little bit cuter and feel a little bit better and like get things off my chest. And I'm probably certain that not every video will be as depressing as this one, but when the topic is 2020, how can I not be fucking depressing? Like what am I going to talk about? The rainbows and butterflies that are shining down from the sky? Well, baby, that's not happening. And if that's happening in your life, then you're living on a different planet. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.